Alright people, what up man? This your boy Vagabond here to give you my thoughts and I guess a review on Hajime no Ippo Rising episode 1. Man, was this a great fucking episode, man. I was hyped for this anime. The minute I saw that they were going to make a season 3 of Hajime no Ippo, I'm like, yo, I'm reviewing this shit. This is my number 1 anime to review this fall. I know everybody want to go ahead and review and watch Kuroko no Basket, but this is the best sports anime to watch this fall, bar none. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is the best sports anime ever. Now, I'm not saying that, what I'm saying is the best sports anime. Now, the other anime that comes close to it, well, not anime, but manga-wise, in a manga formation, comic formation, is Slam Dunk. I really like Slam Dunk a lot. But I digress, man. We'll talk about that sometime later. But Hajime no Ippo Rising episode 1, beastly episode, man. It just right to the point, off the back. It had a great flashback story of Ippo when he was a little kid and his father, something that we never seen in, I don't think, the first 2 seasons or the first anime and the second anime. I don't think, from my recollection, I don't think we never saw a flashback of his father before, but we get to know a lot about why his father is not in his life anymore. Now, the show starts off with Ippo. He's on his boat sailing, and he's talking about he knows what it means to become strong and to become a champion and whatnot. And then it goes to a flashback, and it shows a flashback of him when he was a little kid. And his father was a fisherman, of course, who owned like a fish boat, and they were making money. They had like a fish business. He had his own crew, and they were making money off of fish, catching fish in the sea and selling them or whatnot. Now, his father and his crewmates, they went out to sea, and they weren't. And then he said his goodbye to his wife and Ippo, and they weren't going to be back until like a week. Now, what happened was, when they were out in sea, they ran into a storm. The storm was very wild, very crazy. The boat was getting ready to flip over or whatever and sink. All the crewmates were getting off except one. One crewmate got stuck on the boat because this big old box, a heavy box, I don't know what it was, but it fell on one of his crewmates. I think his name was Sukura, whatever his name was. It fell on his leg, and he was trapped. So Ippo's father, he decides that yo man, I'm not leaving this boat, because they had a little boat. They had a little raft or whatever that they were gonna get on, so they can escape the boat. But he's like, yo, I'm not leaving this boat until I get everybody off. We still got one more person on it. So he helps that one person. He lifts that damn box or whatever, the heavy box, off his leg. He see that his friend can't move. He throws him in a little boat, and then right there and there, the storm picks up all crazy. The raft starts drifting off further and further away from the boat, and that's when Ippo's father, he ended up getting caught in the storm, and then he's saying to himself, I'm gonna make it. And then he's saying, I love Ippo and this and that. And it was a really touching moment. It was really hard to see. I was like, damn. So that's how Ippo's father died, man. I was like, man, that's messed up, man. That's messed up. That's how the show starts off. I'm like, man, they really gonna start us off with something like that? That really touched the heart, man. But that was, it was sad. And his father ended up dying, of course. And so later on, I guess a week later or whatever, his shipmates make it back to land. They make it back to to Ippo's house, and they had like a little service there, because I guess they didn't retrieve the body or whatever. I don't know, but they had like a little service inside his Ippo's house, all set up with his Ippo's father's, like flowers and everything, and his crewmates are giving their thanks and their, how you call that, their condolences to Ippo's mom or whatever. And then the guy that Ippo's father has saved, he's very saddened because he should, because she's Ippo's mother's thanking them, and he's like, I should be thanking you. I should be thanking your husband. He saved me. So again, that was like very touching and whatnot. But yeah, after all that happened, Ippo, he was standing out there at the shoreline where they line up all the boats at and everything, where the boats dock at, waiting for his father, because see, his father promised him that he will come back. And he was just sitting there waiting. And one day, one of the father's crewmates ran into Ippo, and Ippo, he wanted to learn how to like throw an anchor, how you call that, tie an anchor up or whatever. Cause he was very interested in this shit because his dad did this, and he said, I'm waiting, and Ippo was telling the crew member, the guy, he was like, yeah, I'm waiting for my daddy to come back, and his dad, and the crew member was like, damn, you don't know. He was saying to himself like, damn, he doesn't know his dad's gone. So that was even tough, man, because the mother didn't even tell the son that his daddy wasn't gone. So I was like, oh man, that's even more bogus, man. That's even more messed up. But finally, I guess she ended up telling him that he wasn't gonna come home or come back until one day, he still standing out there, and the next thing you know, his hat, it was a fisherman hat that he always wore. It came back. It's I don't know how Ippo got it. It just swam up ashore or whatever. Ippo, he was all wet, so I'm guessing he dived into the water to get it. So that was like right there, like that was like the promise right there. Like, yeah, even though I didn't come back physically, you still got something to hold on to. And then in that flashback, they show you how Ippo and his mother end up getting a boat driver's license, and she's gonna continue the business still. So she continued the family business and whatnot. And then of course we get back into regular time. And then you see Ippo, he's like part of the business now. He's almost like the head man in charge now. He's taking over his father's business. And he's telling them, I'm gonna be stronger and I'm gonna defend my belt, this and that. So like I said, that flashback was pretty damn good. I really liked it a lot. It was very touching. It was very, informational, informative, and we learned a lot about Ippo's father and why his father wasn't in his in his life. Because if we didn't know this stuff, we could just be sitting here speculating, talking about, oh, maybe he didn't have no father. His father left his mother or somewhere, or his father died, which he did. So, like I said, that was a good flashback. Now, let's talk about what Ippo was doing. Now, everything left off from the last season. The last season, we saw that another challenger stepped up to fight Ippo. He was the #1 contender for his Japanese title belt, and this guy was named Shimabukuro, something like that. So he was talking about, yeah, I'm gonna destroy the Dempsey Road. That shit's gonna be out of here. I'm like, yeah, okay, Ippo gonna whoop your motherfucking ass. But yeah, so that's where everything left off, and it continued in this part. Ippo's training for training for this fight, and overall, and then time comes, the fight happens. Shimabukuro, he's like this short, stocky, but thick, like very buff looking fighter, man. And he comes from one of these islands, and he's actually like a sea boy himself. Like, he hunts in the sea. There was that one scene when we first been introduced to him. His trainer was like, yo, he's still in underwater because he was hunting. And guess how long this dude was underwater, man? 13 minutes. The man was hunting underwater for 13 minutes. That's some major, major durability right there. Like, major durability. So, like, this guy is not going to be getting tired once they have their matchup, which they did. So now, later on, they meet up at the arena. They get in the ring, and it's fight time, man. Shimabukuro versus Hajime no Ippo. And this is Ippo. He's defending his title for the 4th time. And let's see if he can win it for the 4th time, And what happens in the fight was, Ippo, he comes out, very tentative. Both of them are tentative in a way. Shimabukuro, he comes out and he says, oh, if Ippo is not going to come at me, then I'm going to come straight at him, which he did. Ippo throws a nice left jab, bam, pushes him back. So he's like, damn, that's a strong left right there. And then that's when Ippo, he just starts coming in, throwing punches. Shimabukuro, he's, like I said, he's very short, man. It's like the shortest guy that Ippo ever fought. Like, he almost looks like a mini Mike Tyson out there. Like, the guy has no neck and shit. Like, he's just swole. So, he comes out there trying to press the attack. Ippo just keeps hitting him with the lefts, trying to back him up. But next thing you know, Ippo ended up getting backed up into the corner. And then that's when Shimabukuro, he end up letting loose. He starts letting his punches go, letting his hands go and whatnot. Starts throwing punches. Ippo, he's backing up, and Shimabukuro, man, he's getting so much power off these punches because the way he's crouching down, and he's already short as it is, but he has his front foot. He's leaning on that front foot, which is, he's getting so much torque and hip action into his hips that's letting him loose all those power bombs, like those power punches. The same thing with Ippo, and they're just slugging it out in a phone booth. That's what you call it in boxing, when two boxers are like head up right together, face to face and close together, and just start slugging it out. You call that a phone booth. So they're just sitting right there in the phone booth, just slugging it out. Ippo getting the best of him. He throws a left hook to Shimabukuro's body. He feels the effect, but then he comes back with a right. Hits Ippo, try to hit Ippo with an uppercut, and they just slugging it out. But then here's where it gets interesting. Just when Ippo thought he had Shimabukuro, when they were in the center of the ring, he had him dead to rights. He goes to throw like a long right, but then the punch was so wide that Shimabukuro, he ends up countering it with his own right, a short, quick right, bam, pushes Ippo back. And then Ippo, while he's sitting back, he has like these blue eyes and shit. Like, I don't know what it was. They described it in the anime. I forgot what they said, but they described it in the anime that he had something. He couldn't breathe or nothing anymore. And this was all part of his strategy. Shimabukuro, it was all part of his strategy to get Ippo in a brawl fight. Because this is what this guy does. Like, he ain't no boxer, he ain't slick or nothing. He's just a brawler fighting in the phone booth. And that's what happened. He got Ippo in a brawl, and then he's describing it as he got him where he want in the deep oceans or whatever. Because like I said, this guy was like a sea guy. He hunts in the sea, lives in the sea, he breathes all that water and everything. So that's his whole strategy. And then the episode ends off right there. So like I said, this was a great episode. Looks like it's going to be an amazing season so far because we got so much things ahead of us. They said in the anime, they said in this episode, Takamura, he's going to have his second title defense. Aoki, he's going to have his first title match. Itakigaki, that's how you say his name, Itakigaki, whatever you say his name, the little slick boxer that's with the Kumugawa gym. He's gonna have another fight, and yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome. This is gonna be a great season. Tune in to my channel, subscribe to my channel, because I'm gonna be reviewing this. I love boxing, so this is right up my area. That's why I love this show so much, because it's boxing. So subscribe to my channel. I got another channel that's dedicated to boxing. If you want to subscribe to that, I'm going to leave a link in the description. And holla at your boy, man. Subscribe, like. Peace.